The debate over whether students should be required to wear school uniforms and whether schools should have dress codes is multifaceted, involving arguments about discipline, equality, self-expression, and practicality. Arguments for school uniforms promotes equality. Uniforms can reduce socioeconomic disparities among students. When everyone wears the same clothing, it minimizes the visible differences between students from different economic backgrounds, potentially reducing bullying and peer pressure related to attire. Enhances focus on education. Uniforms can help students focus more on their studies and less on their outfits. The idea is that with fewer distractions related to clothing, students can concentrate better on their academic work. Improves discipline and safety. Uniforms can create a sense of order and discipline within the school. They make it easier to identify intruders and ensure that students are dressed appropriately for a learning environment. Simplifies dress code enforcement. With uniforms, schools have a clear standard for what students should wear, which can make it easier to enforce dress codes and reduce conflicts between students and administration regarding attire. Arguments against school uniforms. Limits self-expression. Critics argue that uniforms suppress students' ability to express their individuality through their clothing. Adolescence is a critical time for personal development, and clothing can be an important means of self-expression. Questionable impact on academic performance. There is debate over whether uniforms actually improve academic outcomes. Some studies suggest there is no significant correlation between wearing uniforms and academic performance or behavior. Financial burden on families. While uniforms can reduce clothing costs overall, the initial purchase can be a financial burden for some families, especially if the uniforms are expensive or if schools require multiple sets. Cultural insensitivity. Uniform policies might not always account for cultural and religious clothing practices, potentially leading to conflicts and feelings of exclusion among some student groups. Arguments for dress codes. Maintains a learning environment. Dress codes can help maintain a school environment that is conducive to learning by setting standards for what is considered appropriate attire. This can prevent distractions and promote a sense of seriousness and respect. Promotes professionalism. Dress codes can instill a sense of professionalism in students, preparing them for the expectations of workplaces and formal settings. Safety and decency. Dress codes can help ensure that students dress in a manner that is safe and decent. For example, prohibiting excessively baggy clothes can prevent hiding weapons, and ensuring modesty can prevent inappropriate exposure. Arguments against dress codes. Ambiguity and bias. Dress codes can sometimes be vague, leading to inconsistent enforcement. They may also disproportionately target girls and minority students, leading to claims of discrimination and bias. Freedom of expression. Like uniforms, strict dress codes can infringe on students' rights to express themselves through their clothing choices. Distraction from education. The enforcement of dress codes can sometimes become a distraction itself, with significant time and resources spent on policing attire rather than focusing on education. Negative impact on self-esteem. Dress codes that shame or punish students for their clothing choices can negatively impact their self-esteem and body image, particularly during adolescence. Conclusion. The decision to implement school uniforms or dress codes should consider the specific needs and context of the school community. While uniforms and dress codes can promote equality, discipline, and focus, they must be balanced against the need for self-expression and the potential for unfair enforcement. A flexible approach that involves input from students, parents, and educators may help create policies that respect individual rights while maintaining a productive learning environment.
I will be uploading a YouTube short every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, plus a long-format video on different English language learning topics every Thursday. So stay tuned for more upcoming content.
If you have any feedback for me, positive or negative, please leave a comment.